Okay, now I want to look at the topic of data types. With this Galloping Gourmet file, I'm actually going to go to Manage in Powerpivot, and so I'll click this button here. Now, what I want to look at is we've got a number of sheets at the bottom, 10 to be exact. If I was to right-click any of these sheets, as we've done in previous videos, we can delete a query or a table from the data model simply by deleting it. We can also rename any of these sheets just by right-clicking and renaming. We can move it. You can just drag that. And also there's a thing called the calculation area, which is going to become important soon. The calculation area can be turned off, and you've just seen this little panel that existed here disappear. And if I right-click, I can turn it back on again. So you can show and hide the calculation area per table in your Powerpivot. But let's have a look at data types. I'm just going to select this column here, for example. When you bring data in, Excel Powerpivot will look at the data in that column and all the variety of data that's in that column, and it'll decide what the data type is for that column. So this particular column here, it's saying that these are all numbers and there's no decimal places. So it's decided that the data type is a whole number as opposed to a decimal number. So a whole number can be a positive or a negative number, and it can be a really large number, like way into the, a large number, and but no decimal places. When I look at something like company name, it's decided, well, the data type for that is text. And so that's accurate. And a lot of these will be text. When I go to, say, orders, and I've got some date columns here, and I go to order date, I can see that the data type for this column is in fact a date, whereas the data type for this column is a whole number, whereas the data type for, say, this column is a decimal number. So the data type Powerpivot tries to accurately decide what the correct data type is. And if you've got a column that's full of decimal numbers, but there's one cell that says not available or has a hyphen, then to accommodate that text, it will actually decide that entire column is text. And so you may have to go back to the source where you got that data from and actually change the data so that it's intelligently picked up in Powerpivot. You can choose to change the data type, but you may cause an error if you try to make, say, this text, and it's not. So let Powerpivot determine the data type, but you can change the data type, but make sure that you are doing the correct data type, otherwise you could cause a problem. Now, and that's really where I want to go with data types. Besides data type, also you can also format. So if I went to this format, which currently says general means no specific format, I could actually change this to currency. And so that would make the freight appear as currency. So the data type is the type of data in each column, and the format is how you want that data type to look. And so they're quite different. As well as some formatting options here, like we've got various currencies, percentage, comma every thousandth, and then the opportunity to increase and decrease decimal places should you need to. So you can format your data, and you can also control the data type using those options there.